It was a freezing winter evening on the edge of Dustfall Valley, where the winds howled like hungry wolves, and the world felt too big for a poor widow named Eliza and her two little children, Noah and Lily. Their tiny wooden cabin, patched with old blankets and tin sheets, stood alone under the dark sky. Life had been cruel to them ever since Eliza's husband, Daniel, died in a mining accident 3 years ago. Since then, she had survived by working at the local laundry, stitching clothes at night, and sometimes going hungry so her children could eat. That night, as the storm rolled in, she sat by the weak fire mending an old coat. Noah and Lily huddled close, wrapped in thin blankets. Just as she placed another log in the fire, a loud crash echoed outside, half like a man's groan, half like something heavy hitting the frozen ground. Eliza froze. Her heart thundered. There wasn't supposed to be anyone this far out in the valley. Instantly protective, she grabbed the lantern, whispering to her kids to stay inside no matter what. Opening the door, she saw a tall figure lying face down in the snow, barely breathing. His clothes were expensive, too expensive for Dustfall. Valia's boots polished, his coat fine leather. Blood soaked the snow beneath him. Eliza rushed forward despite the fear twisting in her stomach. When she turned him over, she gasped. A rugged cowboy with a handsome yet sunburned face, a silver-studded hat lying beside him, and a deep bullet wound near his ribs. Whoever he was dying. She dragged him, struggling, panting, into her cabin. Her children stared with wide eyes as she laid the stranger near the fire. "Mama, is he a bad man?" Lily whispered. "Only God knows," Eliza answered. But he's a man who needs help." She heated water, ripped old sheets into bandages, and cleaned the wound with trembling hands. He groaned painfully but did not wake. She stitched the wound the way Daniel once taught her crude, but enough to save a life. Hours passed. The storm grew louder, wind battering the walls. The cowboy's breathing was shallow but steady. Eliza finally leaned back, exhausted. Noah kept watching, whispering, "Mama saved you, mister. Don't die." By morning, the stranger opened his eyes. They were deep hazel, sharp but filled with confusion. Where am I?" he asked hoarsely. "Safe," Eliza said softly. "In my home. You were bleeding outside." The cowboy blinked, trying to sit but wincing. "Name's Cole Bennett," he whispered. The name meant nothing to Eliza, but to the world beyond Dustfall Valley. Cole Bennett was one of the wealthiest ranchers in the West, owner of the Bennett Empire, a man both feared and respected. But here he was just a man saved by a poor widow with nothing to give except kindness. For days, Cole healed slowly under Eliza's care. Noah and Lily grew attached to him. They would bring him water, sit beside him, ask questions about horses and ranches. He would smile, something he hadn't done in years. Eliza cooked the little she had, mostly broth and Cole. Seeing their situation, realized how much she sacrificed for a stranger. One night, as the fire crackled softly, Cole said, "You saved my life." "I owe you everything." Eliza shook her head. "You owe me nothing. We just did what any human should, but indoors." Cole felt something he had long forgotten. Warmth, family, humanity. One evening he confessed what happened. A group of bandits ambushed him, thinking he carried cash from a cattle deal. They shot him and left him to die. "If you hadn't opened your door," he said quietly, "I'd be buried under snow." Eliza looked into his eyes and saw him not a rich cowboy, but a lonely man. Days turned into a week. Cole regained his strength, helping Noah chop wood, teaching Lily to whistle, fixing the broken fence outside. Laughter filled the cabin, something that had been missing since Daniel's death. But life had its way of testing people. One morning, armed riders appeared on the horizon. Deputy Marshal's men searching for Cole. When they knocked, fear shot through Eliza. She thought they'd accuse her of something. But instead, the deputy bowed slightly. "Mr. Bennett, sir. We've been searching the valley for days. Your ranch is in chaos." Cole turned to Eliza, his expression heavy. He didn't want to leave. Not this place. Not these children. Not the woman who saved him without knowing who he was. "I'll return," he promised. "I owe you more than life." Eliza forced a smile. "Just go home. That's enough." But Cole meant every word. As he mounted the horse and rode away with his men, Noah ran after him, waving. Lily cried softly. And Eliza, she felt a strange emptiness. The cabin felt colder that night. Quieter, but she didn't know the man she said would return soon, and when he did, her entire world would change in ways she could never imagine.
Life in the small cabin slipped back into quiet struggle after Cole Bennett rode away. The storm had passed, but the challenges stayed. Eliza returned to stitching clothes late into the night. Noah chopped wood with his little arms, trying to take the place of the father he barely remembered. Lily clung to Eliza's dress, missing the cowboy who told her stories of wild horses and stars. A month passed, then two. Winter melted into spring. Flowers scattered across Dustfall Valley. But inside the widow's home, nothing bloomed. Sometimes late at night, Eliza found herself glancing at the empty chair by the fire, the chair where Cole used to sit, smiling despite his pain. She scolded herself for thinking about him. "He belongs to a world we'll never see," she whispered one night. But destiny has a strange way of honoring kindness. One bright afternoon, as Noah and Lily played outside, a deep rumbling sound echoed through the valley. Horses, many of them, approached. Eliza rushed out, heart pounding. What she saw made her breath catch. A line of horses, carts full of supplies. And at the front, dressed in a clean black coat and polished boots, Cole Bennett. His eyes softened when he saw her. "I told you I'd come back," he said quietly, almost afraid she might reject him. Eliza's lips parted, but no words came. Noah and Lily sprinted toward Cole, cheering. He knelt, hugging them tightly. For a moment, the valley felt alive again. Cole looked around the broken fence, the crumbling cabin walls, the thin blankets drying on a rope. His voice tightened. "You saved my life, but I didn't know you didn't even have enough for yours." Without asking, he began unloading supplies, sacks of flour, sugar, medicines, warm clothes, shoes for the kids, blankets, and tools. Eliza touched his arm. "Cole, why are you doing all this?" He turned to her, sincerity radiating from his eyes. "Because good people like you shouldn't suffer. And because I meant what I said. I owe you everything." For the next week, Cole stayed with them, repairing the cabin with his ranch hands, building a stronger roof, fixing the windows, replacing the door, and even constructing a small barn so Eliza could have chickens and maybe a goat someday. Noah followed Cole everywhere, eager to learn. Lily held his hand like he was family. And Eliza, she fought a quiet war in her heart. She was grateful, overwhelmed, and afraid of hoping too much. Cole noticed. Late one evening, after the children had fallen asleep, he stood outside the cabin, staring at the sunset. Eliza joined him. The soft wind lifted her hair as she whispered, "Why does a rich man like you care so much about a widow like me?" Cole took a slow breath. "Because wealth means nothing when your heart is empty. And mine has been empty for years." His voice cracked slightly. "You and your children gave me something I hadn't felt in a long time. Home." Eliza felt her eyes sting, but she looked away. "Don't say things you don't mean," she whispered. "We're just poor people." Cole gently turned her face toward him. "Eliza, you saved me without knowing who I was. Not many people in this world would do that. I don't care about your money. I care about you." Time paused. The valley went silent. For the first time in years, warmth rushed through Eliza's chest. But before she could speak, a cry came from inside. Lily had woken up from a bad dream. Eliza rushed in and Cole followed. Lily climbed into his arms as if she belonged there. And in that moment he knew he wanted to stay. The next day, Cole made a decision that shocked the entire valley. He brought Eliza and her children to Bennett Ranch, a Sikijig, sprawling land of green fields, horses, barns, and workers who respected Cole deeply. Whispers spread everywhere. "Who is that woman? Why is Mr. Bennett holding her hand? Those children, are they his family now?" Cole didn't hide anything. During a ranch gathering, he stood tall and announced, "This woman and her children saved my life. From today onward, they are under my protection. They are family." Gasps filled the air. Some were happy, some jealous, some shocked. But Cole didn't care. He had made up his mind. Over time, Eliza adapted to her new life, slowly, cautiously. Noah learned horse riding, Lily learned to sew beautiful dresses, and Eliza helped run the ranch house. And as weeks turned into months, something gentle and beautiful grew between her and Cole. Not rushed, not forced, just natural. One evening, near the barn, under the golden sunset, Cole held her hands and softly asked, "Eliza, may I give your children the life they deserve? And may I build a future with you?" Tears fell freely down her cheeks as she nodded. Their life changed forever that day, not because they found a rich man, but because kindness returned to them in the most unexpected form. And so, the poor widow, who once had nothing but a small cabin and 2 hungry children, became the heart of Bennett Ranch, loved, respected, and finally at peace. Sometimes life doesn't reward wealth. Sometimes it rewards kindness, and theirs became a story the valley never forgot.